So, welcome to the Weekend Rugby Roundup. I'm Paul from Driving Mall, and with me today I have Debbie Knight from 365 Sporting Days. How are you doing, Debbie?
Fine, thank you. Good evening from England.
Good. Oh yes, good evening. Yes, you should be on the beers, and I'm on my cup of tea.
I would.
So, Ross, you probably already know this, but so yep, if you can click on tweet and post on the left hand side and ask questions in the comments. We're doing this as a bit of a pilot to see how it goes, and I need to move my notes so I don't look off screen so much. I think it's going to be point number one. So we're going to run through the Aviva action from the weekend and give that a review. So the first game was the Exeter versus Gloucester. Did you catch that one?
Sod's law, I didn't.
You didn't?
Because I was at another one.
You were, yes, that's true. That one was very much weather dependent, and Stanley Park can get pretty windy, and this was one of those days. So, and interestingly enough, Gloucester actually chose to play into the wind in the first half and didn't manage the conditions very well. I've not seen the whole game, but by all accounts, they were kicking far too high into the wind and not being able to get out their end 22, which led to a lot of pressure and inevitable mistakes. Selby got the first charge down, and Thomas Waldron played a bit of football to dribble it over the line. To add to his try tally,
He's got 6 now.
He's got 6.
Yeah.
Because he was not only was he the highest scorer last season, but he was also, I think, the highest scorer in 2015, wasn't he?
Yeah. He was.
For the thing. But then he picked up a second one from a driving maul, and yeah, it was all going a bit wrong for Gloucester. And then there was a third one, and I've just gone blank off the top of my head as to how they scored that one. But Exeter picked up a third one to lead convincingly at half time. Obviously, in the second half, Gloucester played with the wind, got a penalty back fairly early, but Exeter were kicking much lower into the wind and managed to get out there 22. But eventually, the Gloucester breached the line with about 10 minutes to go, I think it was. And then Exeter kept them out at the end. And
so a case of home advantage. It must be.
Definitely a case of knowing how to play in the conditions. Yes, and home advantage. I mean, if you get down to Sandy Park, it's pretty exposed around there, so it can get a bit. It can definitely be a windy day. Unlike some of the other games which we'll get onto, because they got the hybrid pitch, the pitch wasn't an issue. It was just purely the wind in that one. Next up, then, a game you were at.
Yes, I was.
Quinn Sarries. Had a bit of an ill-tempered affair by the looks of things.
Do you know, I think it probably was. Yeah, it started with the swinging arm, which interestingly, James Horwell is in front of the disciplinary committee.
He's been cited for it. Okay.
Yeah, as is Rhys Gill, obviously, but also Dave Ward. Not sure what Dave Ward did.
Was he was the second tackler, was he?
No, Dave Ward's Quins player.
Oh, the Quins player. Oh, sorry,
yeah.
Of course he is.
Yeah, Petrus du Plessis was the second player in the. And actually, in my match report, and at the time, I thought yellow was right for Horwell. But I did put, I'd be interested to see if we'd hear more. And in fact, we have. So.
I do wonder as to when you're joining a ruck at pace, what's a swinging arm and what's binding on, and so I thought yellow was probably about. I thought yellow was right. I definitely didn't think it was anything more than that.
Do you bind on with enough power to knock someone out?
I can, yes. Okay, I can see that's the okay. There's going to be a due care there that people are going to talk about, but the So I wasn't sure where the line was. It didn't really seem to me to be too much for swinging or too much for a hit anyway. That was just from the TV. But I guess so. After that, Saracens pack got into the action.
Yeah, it did. I think they actually wasted time. We had 3 reset scrums before they then decided to move it and drive over, and Neil de Kock scored.
Yep.
But they were eating into the 10 minutes. So I think that was, yes, they got the try in the end, but they wasted the man advantage.
Okay, you think they should have got it out of the scrum and spun it wide earlier and just restarted?
Yeah, I do.
The off that one. Oops, I was looking at my wrong notes. That's why I was looking at that. And then the Danny Care.
I'll confess it. Saracens supporter, but if they're not playing, I go to Quins. So I'm in a bit. I cheered all the tries, and that was fantastic. Absolutely.
Yeah, very clever move. And then we had Saracens back to their scrum.
And
Billy. Yeah. I was obviously using the flankers had to join in the push on Quinn's side, tying them all in, and a good use of tying the players in and then charging over.
Yeah.
There. We then then got a bit. Then we had the offload from Evans and and the hit there on the microphone. You could hear someone complaining to the referee from Quins after that about saying, "Hey, we're getting all these players injured," which the I thought was a bit harsh, but. And it's not the kind of complaining. I don't want that sort of chat happening to the ref all the time. Personally, I'd like him to tell him to shut up.
I think it was Danny Care, wasn't it?
I think so. Yes.
Yeah.
Up to you.
I heard him say that they're getting in our way, but the ref said the try's been awarded. We carry on, didn't he?
Yes. Yeah.
But actually, was that the moment that Evans was injured and then went off in the second half?
Yeah, that was the moment when Evans got injured with the offload. That, to me, that tackle looked absolutely fine. He got hit either just as he released the ball or whilst he still had it. So I don't think there's anything wrong there. Hey Keith, welcome. If you've got any questions about any of the games at the weekend, please do put them in the comments. And once we finish the recording piece, I'll open up the seats and you can come and join and have a chat if you want. And then the turning point, the red card.
Dare I say what I said when he came on? I was sat with Win season ticket holders next to a friend, and I said, "Here we go. Here come the penalties, the hassle." He was in with the red 5 minutes later.
It's he clearly lifted the legs. And to me, that was clearly red. I guess the interesting other discussion point was around that he initially was a yellow card, and then as it went on the big screens, it got upgraded to red. What's your thoughts on the referees seeing the big screen and changing their ideas or changing their mind?
That's the second time I've seen it. I saw it at Wasps last year. I think it was Marcus Bye went in with a shoulder into a ruck. Both occasions were dangerous play. I approve. I think the right card was issued.
I've got no problems with that. My only concern is who is managing what goes on those screens. And so are you adding an extra bit of home advantage or just by deciding who actually puts it up? I mean, at the Rugby World Cup, they had Hawkeye, so the TMO had full control.
Yeah.
But they don't have that. So that was my only thing.
So you think the TV people do?
I'm not sure it's TV people or whether it's actually one of the communications guys at the ground who chooses it.
That's an interesting thought if it is.
exactly. So that's my only thought is yes, I think it was the right hey Keith, it's completely independent. Is it okay? So it is. So it will be the TV people who make that choice. But it's still not an official. It's still a TV person who makes that decision, which I think is my only concern.
What did you think about Percy's part in that?
I thought it was fine. I thought he tackled
because he was high, not too high, but he was at the top end.
Yeah, so he took the body, and has brought the person down, whereas the other player lifted the legs and caused the tip. The piece also didn't drive him into the ground. He brought him down in a safe manner. Yeah. So so that piece I was happy with, but yeah, no, I think he'll be seeing 3 to 5 games for that tip tackle.
Rightly so.
Yep. And and then to finish all things off, Quinn's then got the penalty and the pick and drive to win the game. And
sod's law, James Holwell touchdown.
and we had some handbags at the end there as well.
Yeah, bit of added entertainment.
I think the ill-tempered thing probably led to the yellow card being given quickly to try and calm things down. I think he wanted to show the players, look, it's being dealt with. Please don't let me deal with it. And then he upgraded it when he saw the picture. I think if it hadn't been so ill-tempered, I think he'd have taken his time, done the TMO, and made the decision.
Is there a call for actually making that difference, or you've got something serious as that? I don't know. Does it slow too much?
The TMO can definitely come in and tell him and say, "Hey, someone got something to look at." But I think he was deliberately getting on his whistle and getting the yellow card out to stop stop it getting any worse and try and keep it under control.
I think possibly because of the player that was driven into the ground. He has a history of neck injuries.
Oh, okay.
Out of the game for a couple of years. So.
Yep. Then we had what was next up? Next up were
Tigers.
Yes. Tigers Saints.
Yeah.
God, how did they try and lose this one? It's just.
Do you know it? I watched it yesterday, and for some reason I was with the impression that they'd run away with it, and then lost. Yep. But at first half, the gap was 12 points.
Yeah, but they ran out to a 21-point lead by after about 24 minutes.
Yeah.
So they built up a big lead through, and it wasn't all one way. I mean, they spun it wide. They then did a driving maul. You then saw Ben Young sniping through. So they were varying their play nicely, which hasn't been something from. And then they let Saints back into it. So you had Saints come back. So yeah, you say they closed it back to about 12 at halftime. And then Tigers were trying to play too much, I think, and gave away the intercept try when they were, or at least the turnover try.
Who would you least want to give that ball to on that pitch?
Yep, you're right. Straight to
George.
And he ran quite comfortably. Then Cole got yellow carded.
Second week in a row. Different offences, but second week in a row. That sees him out of an England shirt for me.
Ooh.
I put it on a Leicester Tigers Facebook page. He's yellow carded a lot in my book.
Wow, that's interesting. Because obviously we have the EPS coming out on Wednesday.
Yeah.
So we'll see what Eddie Jones thinks. I'm going to try and do another one of these on Wednesday to talk about the EPS. So if you're free at the same time, we'll I'll be going through that.
Yeah.
So you reckon? Oh, you think he could be out?
I don't think he should have been in the first place. For myself, he's regularly penalised in the scrum. Found out.
Yep, but he's as everyone says, they'll call him the extra flanker, don't they? He's good over the ball.
But he's there to prop.
The actually, we should, well, when we get into Wasps, actually, we'll talk about that. The so Saints then pulled it all back, and basically Tigers got a penalty at the end to win it. So they really should not have left themselves in that situation.
Controversy on that penalty or not? Not for me, but there was some suggestions on Twitter that there was. Yeah.
Oh, really? It looked fine to me when I saw it.
Courtney Law plays very close to legal. I think he was tricked a bit. I
thought it was a silly thing to do. If you're in a draw, that close to it, they're in your half, to go over a ruck and get anywhere near the scrum half. No, that was just a bad
naive.
A bad choice by him there. Yep. Irish Falcons next.
Oh yeah. What a game that was.
Actually, I probably did it wrong around, wasn't it? I think it was Wasps. Actually, no, Wasps was the last game. Very important game. That one. So on to the Sunday games now. Did you catch that one, or were you busy on this one?
No, I watched that. I watched it after the fact. Some controversy there, obviously, with a certain fly half.
I've seen a few comments around about people complaining about the band getting booed during the game, which we don't really want to see.
No.
Sorry, I was going to do something behind my computer. But we talked about this on the rugby chat a couple of weeks ago. I think it's a bit dodgy that he comes back out of retirement, to be honest with you. I think if you're retired, you're retired. To have got yourself out of a contract that way. Yeah. Someone like Matt Stevens, who there's a couple of years, rebuilds his neck up. So not Matt Stevens, I'm blank. The England hooker, who retired due to neck injury, paid back all his compensation and played again. That's fine, but to do it so close, to me that's a bit out of order by Andy Hughes there. Yep. Interesting as to his having heard. I've heard him talk a couple of times about it. Apparently, Dean Richards was the person who gave him his first professional contract.
Yeah, I think
so
there's
I can see why. I think there's a link there. I think that's what it comes back to.
Yeah.
So yes, there was that contrast, and he came on and kicked some points as well to close him in on. I don't think he'll get anywhere near Charlie Hodgson's total, but yeah. So anyway, but Irish ran out to a big lead again. This was another 20-0 lead at half time, and then Falcons came back into it.
They have a star player for me, Irish, Alex Lewington. I think he's a fantastic player. He scored 2 tries against Saracen either last year or the year before. I think he's superb.
Because he's the inside centre or the winger. The winger. Sorry. To me, I think a lot of Irish's problems have been around losing Andy Good and not having that fly half. I think he was central to their to their plans this season. And they have some exciting backs. They got their insides. I was thinking that Good Geraghty was going to be a great combination at 10-12 and would be able to release Lewington, Ojo, etc. out wide.
Good to see him score.
So that's falling down and then just kind of bizarre kind of way of him picking it up and putting it down.
First one for over a year. Don't suppose he cares.
No, yes, it's not. I heard it was a drought. I didn't know it was more than a year now that he'd been hadn't scored.
15 months, I think.
But this, another one where they let Falcons get back into it.
Yeah.
Getting reduced to 14 men didn't help, and then not having the man covering across for the grubber kick through. So, but they held on in the end to win it. And I think that's not only in the Aviva Premiership, but also in Europe. That was a theme this weekend. I mean, look at ONR, Ulster. another big turnaround at half-time.
But I have to say, I didn't watch that
as well.
But how were they losing 23-0? I know it was in France, but
in France against the bottom team, second bottom team in the top 14, they should not have put themselves in that situation.
Not that I'm sure they'll turn up at Saracens on Saturday, however.
Okay, then. We're running out of time. So quickly, Wasp Warriors.
The only thing I have there is that I didn't watch that,
yep.
But actually, Worcester went ahead, didn't they? But they did.
So Worcester went ahead. And they were leading 3-13 at half time. To be fair, it was Warriors try was an intercept try. So they weren't actually creating that much, and Wasps also. And also Wasps also lost the ball over the line when they should have tried, when they should have scored. So it should have been much closer at half time.
Right.
It wasn't a fair reflection of the game. So it's not really a big surprise that the Wasps came back into it. But then not only are they even up, but then Warriors got 3 penalties to reopen the lead to 9 points, and then just got absolutely hammered in the last 12.
Well, they scored 4 tries, didn't they? Wasps
scored 4 tries, 3 of them in the last 12 minutes. So they were behind. They were behind 13-22, I think, going into the closing stages, and then suddenly, bang, 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 it was all over. A big missed opportunity for Warriors there.
I think a big sigh of relief from Dai Young.
Yes, they've been one of the sides that've been up and down this season. They really have. Why are they down there? I just got no idea.
I thought they would excel. I mean, they sit there with only 20 points in the Premiership, which are fine.
Yeah, and it's so we were talking about props having to prop. What about hookers having to hook, and the move of Johnson from number 8 to hooker for Wasps. That just feels wrong to me. Something's. I can't see how he's. You got people like Tom Young saying, "Oh, I can't hook. It's 2 days. I can't." I mean, he's been a converted centre, but he's a converted centre 4 or 5 years ago. There's Ashley Johnson trying to do it in 1 summer. Wow, that's it's going to be interesting. I understand why he's done it, looking at who they've got there, but I can't see how.
It is odd, isn't it? There's a young Saracens player that's going from back row to prop. He's about 6'4". That's going to make for interesting propping.
Well, yes, and that was a lot of the comments in about Gloucester last year, as they had a international front row, but they were all different sizes, and so they didn't actually prop very well. So they didn't actually push well together. So
and which referee was it? Was it Barnes, wasn't it, that said that the Tigers and Saints front row couldn't meet low, that they had to prop up high, come up high when they met, because it wasn't working.
I didn't.
When they were going to.
I didn't hear that one. Okay, I missed that.
Yeah, I think so.
Cool. You wanted to have a quick chat about Toulon Bath?
Oh, interesting, wasn't it? Considering that Bath again, I mean, they are. So.
Yep, you're still there.
I'm still here, but I can't see you. There we are. They've not been on form. 16 points in Premiership. Would you back them to go and hold Toulon, which they pretty much did in their own backyard?
Yeah, I mean, I've not seen this one. I've just read about it, but it looked like it just turned into a kicking game. Neither side seemed to be able to break the other down. No. I don't know what the conditions were like, but I'm guessing they were probably wet and windy.
Yeah, they were. Well, windy. I'm not so sure they were wet.
Okay, so a bit of a leveler there. Is this Bath suddenly turning the corner?
Or could that be season defining?
We'll see. We'll see next week, I guess. Just
before their players go off to the England squad.
Well, yeah, that's it, isn't it? 2 weeks of European, and then they lose all their players. So should we run through the quickly the England games next weekend?
Let's.
So Bordeaux, Exeter.
Exeter.
Yep. Even. I mean, Bordeaux are now out of it, so I'm expecting them to put out a reduced team. Saracens, Ulster.
All Saracens. Robbie.
Only because you
at home. I'd be surprised if they lose.
Yeah, no, at home that definitely should win that one.
Yeah.
Leinster, Bath. Now Leinster have been poor in Europe, but they got a good result away at was it Ospreys
Scarlets,
or which one was it? Scarlet. No, Scarlets won at the weekend to go top.
Yeah, I watched that. Ospreys, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Ospreys. So Johnny.
So a lot of people are saying that actually that they're comfortable with having slammed the coaches earlier in the season. They say that certainly things are good. I don't know. Leinster already out of it.
Yeah,
that's to me 50-50. Oh, dearie me.
At home. An Irish team will lose.
No, at home you should back Leinster for that one.
Yeah.
Really. Tigers, Treviso, 5 points for Tigers.
Yes.
Toulon Wasps.
I think Toulon.
Yeah, Toulon at home.
Yeah.
And then finally Saints, Warriors.
Have to be a little bit of revenge needed there. Oh, is it? We're talking Glasgow Warriors, though, are we?
Glasgow Warriors. Yes, this is Europe.
Oh, let's go for an away win on that one.
Away win. Oh, I think Saints will keep it tight and just use a scrum for that one. So that's the end of the recorded part. Thank you very much. Thank you for watching. This will be put up onto YouTube, and the embed code will also be on our website as well, which I'll be sharing. So if you missed the beginning, you can catch up there. I'm now going to stop the recording and open up the seats if anyone wants to join us.
Who's not shy is the question.